Have you ever heard of the show Naked and Afraid Last Man Standing? Well, so I'm going to review the last episode, and it was actually really funny because there was some real good mindset and psychology nuggets in the show also. Hey, Jason here. If you've been watching the channel, you've been seeing me go through Johannesburg, showing you how beautiful South Africa is, man. I'm looking at the beautiful blue sky from my flat right now. But most importantly, I've been speaking to you about success, talking to you about what it is and how to get it in the three areas of life that I focus on, which are happiness, health, and wealth. If you're new to the channel, the definition of success is the progressive realization of a worthy idea. And I'm going to explain to you why I brought this up and how to connect to you. Probably like success, and you're watching reality TV. I'm confused. But let's go back to the topic. Have you ever watched Naked and Afraid? Last one standing. And if you've seen the Naked and Afraid shows, just to give you a synopsis in case you're new here, it's an American TV show where they take one man, one woman, and they put them naked somewhere in the wilderness around the world and see if they can survive for whatever designated amount of days. So they've been doing this for a few years now, and now they're trying to evolve the show, which I actually really like what they're trying to go with it. So because they're trying to evolve it, they're trying to make it more of a competition. So the last person, I think they got to survive like 60 days or something. They're in South Africa right now in the wilderness somewhere, which is really funny because I'm in South Africa. But like they have to survive for like 60 days or something with primitive resources and tools, and they have challenges along the way. And so, well, before I go farther, let me just make this caveat. Yes, Jason was in the military, but let me explain this to you guys. I'm one of the bougiest people you're going to ever meet. I'm cool with glamping. I do not do wilderness survival. That is not my lane. I don't mess with it. Like, I'll share this story with you. Like, this is how you know I'm not into the survivalist stuff. I didn't come here for that. So when I was in boot camp in the military, you got to do, I think you do what, 2 or 3 days. You have to sleep in the wilderness. Now, guys, I'm from Texas, but the city part of Texas. So like, we don't live in woods. Like, we don't go to woods. We don't sleep on nothing that's not a mattress or on at least a floor or a couch. Like you're not sleeping on the ground. And so the time when we was out here doing this, doing the field training, whatever, it was miserable, y'all. I'm gonna tell you right now, it was miserable. I hated every second of it. It was so bad. But at that time, it was like what was really big in the U.S. at that time was Lyme disease. And it was like, oh, you get it mainly from ticks. Now, mind you, I'm from Texas. I'm not in the wilderness part. I'm in this, the city part. I've never seen ticks before. Like, yes, I've seen movies and, stuff in books, but I never saw a tick firsthand. So I just like, okay, I don't go to the wilderness. I'm not sleeping where deer sleep. I don't have to worry about ticks. So tell me why the way they said the ticks have Lyme disease, they have like a little white speckle or dot on there on the top of them, how you're looking down on them. Now, what they didn't explain is every tick in Missouri has white speckles on it. So when I was out there in my foxhole, mind you, we being gassed at the time too, and we couldn't put our gas mask on yet. I'm sitting there with my box of matches and my MRE. They're supposed to last me for 3 days, mind you. These ticks, they're aggressive. I guess they feel your body heat or something. So they come running at you. So I'm just using my matches because I knew fire can kill them. So I'm using my matches. Man, about 1 hour in, I was out of matches. I was out of matches and I just gave up. I was just like, fuck it. At that time, my battle buddy, he was a fool. He didn't want to put on his, it was so much going on, man. And then on top of that, I had to deal with those ticks. So Jason is not a survival expert. Like, let me just explain that right now as I continue this story. So now back to the Naked and Afraid Last Man Stand. I think it's a really cool idea what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it mix of Naked and Afraid survivalist, but with the challenges of Survivor, and the people can earn money. I think that's a cool thing. Like, these people deserve $100,000 at least for doing this crazy stuff. I'm telling you, I'm in South Africa and I will not be ever where they're at. Like, you're not going to see Jason there. And so because of that, the show now has something that's really wasn't put into the show in the beginning, which is competition. It's a competitive sport now. You're trying to compete as a survivalist. And so from it, you have some of the people who are still holding on to what the show originally was. And then you have the one and two guys, well, it's like two guys who are adapting to what the show is trying to evolve to. And it's creating conflict. And when I started seeing it, I was like, oh, this is interesting. Because at that time, I was like, the people who want the harmony, the working together, I'm like, you're on the wrong show. This is about a survivalist competition. Now, it don't mean sabotage each other and make it hard for each other, but it does mean you bring the best of you out there. It's not about helping the weaker person. And this is the time you don't want the weaker person and you don't want to help them. And so when I saw that, man, I was like, oh, but why do we go in this approach with business? Because in business, we shouldn't want to compete with each other. We should want to collaborate with each other. You want to help the next person. Like, let's say if I sell TVs and you sell some kind of smart remote control. Instead of me getting in the smart remote control business, I should just say, hey, if I bring so many people over to you, can I earn a commission off of that? And vice versa. If some of your people want upgraded TVs, not only would I give them a discount on it, but here's a amount of commission that you can make on it. Now, let's just say if everybody said like, hey, for Jason, every person you send in, I'm gonna make 10%. And I'm like, okay, Dave, every person you send in, I'm gonna give you 10%. That's a win-win. Like, that's how business is supposed to be. Like, if you're selling something that the next business doesn't sell, but their customers could use, you need to come together. And also then as you come together, you're going to start seeing you're making more money between the customers. And so that was just the first thing that was really, really interesting about the show when I saw the difference of people wanting to collaborate in a survivalist standpoint, but they didn't understand that they now turned into a competition. So the collaboration doesn't work there. And so what that really came down to is collaboration is for business. Competition is for entertainment. Like when it's a competition, you want one person to win and stay on top. But in business, I don't want to hurt your business. I don't want you to go out of business. I don't want your family to not have food, not have security. I want you to be as successful as you can be, and I want to be as successful as I can be. Like that's how business is harmonized. Like really look at it. Like let's say the biggest cell phone company right now, well, Apple maybe. Apple and Samsung at the end of the day, they're not fighting each other for customers. And you know what's funny? I'm shocked they haven't done some type of crossover. Like if I was the salespeople of Samsung and Apple, I would end up doing some kind of collaboration together. And I guarantee you, how many Apple people will only buy an iPhone that will never even look at a Samsung? How many Android people will never look at an iPhone? If you made something in between, now you can take from both markets. Like it's about profits, baby. Like that's profits, man. Like that's the funny part about how we're not understanding the psychology of business because we've been taught to be in this competitive state all the time, even going through school. That's another example. Like, why should, like let's say if you're better in English than me, and so if you're helping me, even though we're not put in a group, they're going to say I'm cheating and punish both of us. But in business, if you're better than me than an accountant and I'm better at selling, there's no point in me trying to learn accounting and you trying to learn selling. Let you do the accounting and let me do the selling. Let this person do the management. Let this person do this. Like, there's no point for doing it in business. It doesn't translate over. And because we're not taught these skills, because we have to realize too, like we've all been taught the assembly line. Once the Industrial Revolution came and the assembly line came into play, we weren't needed for entrepreneurial business thinking skills. We were just needed for mass labor, meaning you don't need to know anything. You just need to know, take this screw, roll it on this, take this bolt and roll it onto this screw. Take this window, put it here. Take this box, put it there. That doesn't teach you nothing about the fundamentals of business. You're not seeing any of the background workings. You're not seeing how the contracts are being made. You're not seeing negotiations. You're not seeing how the profits are really looking. And I'm saying that because I didn't notice until I started getting into business. I just thought, hey, I got a business now. Like, this is all I got to do. And people are just going to come. They didn't come. In fact, they didn't come for like 3 years. It took us till we left the country and really put in time on learning how to build a business, market a business, scale a business, and also brand ourselves. That's when we started making money. I mean, like yesterday, I had a check come in straight through Amazon for my royalties. Like, I didn't learn that from my family. None of my family used Amazon. They weren't $1 million selling books and publishing companies on Amazon. I had to learn this stuff on my own. And it's this coincides with the episode of Naked and Afraid, because once you're in a new or evolving market, you have to catch up and learn what it is. And you have to go as fast as possible. You can't expect it to slowly integrate you in. And because of what happened with 2020, where the world shut down, business changed. It changed forever. It's not going back to what it was. I can tell you right now, no matter what part of the world I go to, if you're putting billboards on the side of the street, you're wasting money. You might as well do radio ads. You have a better chance of getting business from that than no one is looking at billboards. People are working on their phone, looking at their phone 24/7. Hell, how many times have we seen people driving and they're on their phone? Like, this is where you start marketing people as a business. People are on social media all day. If you're a business, like there's this one business, and I'm gonna tag them on TikTok. I'm gonna do a Stitch video with them because I think it's a really cool business, and this shows you how niche can be, guys. Like, do the things you love and you're niching yourself, and your market is going to come to you if you're using social media and you just stay consistent. So this young guy, he's in South Africa. He built his whole business around creating rugs around anime characters. Craziest thing ever. Let's be honest. Like, South Africa, everybody here in South Africa always talking about how there's no money, there's no opportunity. This young man said, I'm going to make a business making rugs, but not just rugs. I'm going to make custom rugs. He said, forget Persian rugs. Like, I don't need that. I'm going to go make custom anime rugs. And now he has special orders coming in all during the year. Like, this is how powerful social media is for business. And you really got to ask yourself, if you're not taking advantage of it, why not? What is your excuse for not doing it? Because you need to start as soon as possible. You're not a business if you are not on video on social media. And the reason why I'm saying on video, because too many people are taking the whole translation of, let me put a billboard on the side of the street and let me just post it on social media. That is not social media marketing, advertising, or anything in between. That's just posting a picture and hoping somebody watch it. And if you're going to do that, you might as well do it on Pinterest. So you have a better shot of gaining traffic. And so I hope you got some value from this. I just wanted to share that with you because watching that episode was really cool. And also, I will say this too, if any of the producers are watching, come on, man. That White Rapids challenge y'all made them do, you wrong for that, man. I'm all about the fun. I'm all about the competition. I'm all about even the challenges being a little risky. But like, I'm not trying to see someone die just to win $100,000. Like, I felt like that was just a challenge like that was just too dangerous. And there was no way you could say, in my opinion, that their safety was, taken care of all the time, because that was just uncalled for. But besides that, if you like this type of content, make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscribe button so that way you can get updated videos like this daily. And also just remember this as we're leaving out. I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.